Viktor Frankl says, "It is not what you ask from life, rather it is what life asks from you." I repeat it. It is what life asks from you. What is life? Life is responsibility. What is responsibility? It is the ability to respond and make manifest your seeds of life, your true potential. What is potential? It is energy, resting, waiting to move, waiting to blossom. Your seed of potential says to you in a quiet voice, "I am the seed within you. I am the seed of all your potential. For me to grow, act, and flourish, I want to be seen, nourished. Feed me," says the seed. "Be responsible. Allow me to move and blossom." In this world of uncertainty, disorder, confusion, disruption, and AI, there is an urgency, a calling. Your seed of potential is never more vital than now. What is life asking from you? It is asking and daring you to awaken your seeds, your true potential. Why? So you can move and perform from the very best of you. How? Nourish me, honor me, give me the life, and let me blossom. This is your responsibility to life, your life. Don't wait. Step into your true potential now. Blossom now.
Okay, test.
Our next speaker has spent 4 years, over 4 decades actually, and daring to blaze his own trail. Kevin has choreographed and guided world and Olympic figure skating champions, directed the spectacular 1988 Olympic Closing Ceremonies, and brought multi-million-dollar figure skating productions to audiences across the globe. A true citizen of the world, Kevin has lived and worked on 4 continents, in 15 major cities, and over 60 countries during his nomadic career. His travels and experiences inspired him to author the iconic leadership book, The Nomadic Mindset, which integrates wisdom from mobility, nature, sustainability, and more into a powerful contemporary philosophy. Kevin has presented his unique insights to Fortune 500 companies, the European Union, and other major organizations around the world. And today, Kevin asks us all to ponder a profound question. What is life asking from you? Mr. Kevin Cottam.
Yeah, a profound question. What is life asking of you? Now, this is a question that everybody needs to think about in their life. Why? Because this is an actual, excuse me. Because this particular, hang on a second, hold on to that thought. Because what is life is really about a major aspect of these seeds of potential. Your seeds of potential are in you, but they are your skills, they are your values, they are your behaviors. All of these are your seeds, but you need to water them. And to be able to be impactful, to become the impactful you, this is part of your currency. And your currency this is your currency, which means in Latin, correre. And correre means to flow, and it means also to run. For you, your seeds of potential and this question that you need to ask yourself are all your currency in life. And your currency in life is the way you step into life. It's the way you stand. It's the way you present yourself. It's the way you are and how you want to be. So are you ready to ask this question? What is life asking of you? As everyone has heard today, my name is Cottam, and I'm a global nomad. And a global nomad, I'm inspiring nomadic evolution. Evolution, what does evolution mean? It comes from the Latin word evolvere. Evolvere means to unfold, to unveil. So I wish to unveil some of the ways that you can get to the answer to this question. Is that okay? Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So whatever you need to do, first of all, just listen to a little story.
I was entering the Calgary Winter Club, Calgary, Canada, and I was to have an experience of doing choreography for the National Figure Skating Champion of Canada, Brown. I did a bit of research about him because I didn't know who he was at this point in time. And I found out that everyone said, he's a technician, he's not creative, he's a technician. He was the first person to land a quadruple jump competition. But when I got to see him, first of all, his fresh, spontaneous face and body. He's not that tall, which a lot of good skaters are not very tall. And what he ended up doing, I asked him a variety of questions about how he would like to do this choreography, what was important to him. He was to do this piece of choreography at the end of the Olympic Games, in the exhibitions. And what happened is that I would watch him. I watched all of his movement, the way he used his hands, the way he moved his face, the way his body would move, the way he would push along the ice and run, fall, and then jump up like a rocket. He was so spontaneous and so agile. But I would also listen. I listened to the sound of his skates, because that made an indications of how he was flowing through the ice. I would listen to also the answers to the questions that I would give, but also the questions that I would notice in his body. His body was speaking, and I was listening to that. Because our body speaks, very much so. Kurt became four-time world champion. He became, and he is, perhaps one of the most loved and cherished skaters around the world, because he's a very, very wonderful person. In that he comes from a ranch. He loves to ride horses. He's a cowboy. And he loves to do this. And he has been in front of so many people in this world, millions of people. He has become not only a choreographer, a sports commentator, an author, a speaker. He's also a father, 2 children. And he's just retired from his professional skating career at 58. Just now, he's been skating all that time and performing. But he's also a choreographer, he's a coach, he's an author. He's had many hats, and he continues to evolve, to unveil, to unfold so many different aspects, not only himself, but the seeds of his potential. He keeps exploring, and I think this is extremely important. So, taking what that has said, let us go into some other ways that you can look at answering this question. Ready? All right. 3 nomadic paths. So first of all, I go back to nomad. Everyone said to me, I'm a nomad, or I understand the whole idea of nomad. But nomad, I will give you a little seed at this point in time, means the freedom to move. Freedom to move. Now, curiosity. Well, first of all, courage. Where does courage come from? Courage comes from a word called cœur, which in French means heart. And so courage is having the heart to step into the unknown, to be able to step into your own potential, to step into it. And maybe even link into it, perhaps. Curiosity, where does that come from? It comes from curious. And curious means careful. So carefully looking and exploring possibilities, ideas and thoughts. Choices. The choices we make. As Deepak Chopra said, we are consummate choice makers. That's who we are as individuals. Always looking for choices. But the choices that are made have to feel comfortable for us. They have to be in the heart, not just in the head. And they also have to be, you have to be curious about these choices. But they also need to make an impact on others. How does it feel to others? Those are the choices of the two. Another way of looking at the exploration of this particular question is to look at the 5 E's: nomadic mindset, nomadic mapping, and journey model. And the first one is to explore. So be curious about exploration. You can take a video, or you can take a snapshot of this. This is great. The second is to expand. To expand, it is about being open It is about open to possibilities, open to all potentials, open to risks, or open to threats. It's to expand your knowledge, your feeling. The third is to emerge. All of a sudden, like, you start to find all the pieces of the puzzle that are coming together. You're observing and listening what could be in any aspect of your creativity, your speaking, your authorship, whatever profession that you're in. And then all of a sudden we start to experience. And we start to experience and put action to what we have actually wanted. And then we evolve. There's an evolution at the end of the road. And that's when you certainly sense everything. It's about sensorializing the whole journey and the whole aspect of what it is you're creating. And this is a very universal 5 E's. You can use it in anything, from making a dinner party, from making this particular event happen. It can be a speech, it can be a book, it can be whatever it is. But these are the stages, these are nomadic stages that help you keep moving. When I was also starting my nomadic journey, I was on the west coast of Africa. So I was in Morocco, and I spent time with this fellow by the name of Isaac. And he said this quote, "You need a nomadic mindset to connect the dots." Now, connecting the dots is in the past. You do not connect the dots in the forward or the future because you're not there. But in the past, so what do? You don't look at the connecting the dots of all the headlines of your life, but you also start to look at what is under the surface. What is the real meaning? The meaning of what it should do. So the dots are just there as activities. They are professions, they are movements, they are events in our lives. But it's the learning, the growing, which is underneath it, which is actually helping you to answer this question. So myself, I started off as a figure skater. And then I got better and better. I became a Canadian champion figure skater. And then I quit and I went to university. I was going to become a doctor. Yes, a doctor. So I studied biology and I got really bad marks most of the time. And by the last year of my degree, I was having a nervous breakdown almost because I just thought I cannot do this. I don't even want to go into medicine. Why am I doing this? It was really not for me. So I said to my mother, I said, "Mom, I can't do this." She says, "Well, why are you doing it?" And I went, "I thought that's what you and Dad wanted me to do." She said, "No, you made that up. You can do anything you want as long as you make a bit of money to put a roof over your head." She didn't know what she did by doing that. She released this nomad in me that was completely free. And I was so excited to do this that I just got my exams and I did everything properly and I got out of there and then I started to dance. So that was it. But what it taught me was your nature is to discover, explore, and to be free. And this is very, very important for all of us, is this discovery and exploration to be free. And with that, there are no boundaries, there's no limitations, there's no borders, right? You cannot have them. If you want to be free, you cannot have these. So what happened? I started to dance. I lived in New York City, dancing with many very famous people in the world at that point in time. And then I moved to Paris and I danced the can-can at the Moulin Rouge. I did that. Yes, twice a night. Starting at 11:45 at night, I would dance the can-can, and starting at 1:45 in the morning, I would start can-can. Not an easy feat at that time of the night. Anyway, but I did that, and then I also became, as it said, that I became a choreographer for elite national world Olympic champions. And I did a variety of other big shows, as was said, and also as an award-winning filmmaker. I went into venturing that as well because I thought I want something new and fresh. But it was also very important to know that there was failure as well, a lot of failure. And one of the big failures for me was that I was fired from a very big show, a multi-million-dollar show for Disney on Ice, and I was fired. Yes, you get fired from Disney too. Anyway, but this was a turning point in my life. a massive turning point. Because I'm not going to tell you the whole story now, but what I realized, the biggest learning of that freedom was that I also locked myself into my ego. And my ego started to get me. And I realized when I look back and connected the dots of what happened in that particular job was that I wasn't doing it from my heart. My heart was dead. And what I realized then is that I started a journey to find what my heart was. And that's when I found spirituality, a guru, meditation, a variety of other aspects, which has expanded my mind. And I said to myself, I'm never going to do another project unless it comes from my heart. And that's what I did. And when I don't, and I go against it, I'm so angry with myself, but I'm able to just move past it very quickly because I just start laughing. You did it again. All right? But, you move on. But then I became a coach, an executive coach, and then also a speaker, and then also an author, writing my book. I wrote 2 books. But then there's a point sometimes that have you ever felt unfulfilled? You had everything, you feel unfulfilled, you feel that you lost a little bit, that you're bored even? You ever had that feeling?
Always.
Yeah, it happens, right? So anyway, what happened was, I decided I was going to get my mentor, Frederick Herron. My Frederick Herron, who is a world-class speaker, I was very lucky to get him. And so what happened is I went to him and I said, I'm a global nomad. And he said, oh, but I wanted a new subject for myself to speak on. And so he does his inner theme session. So within an hour, before an hour, at the very beginning, he said, I'm interested in nomad. What is nomad? And so he started to look it up and the exploration of that. And then he started to ask me questions. What would this be? If this was a nomad, what would you be doing? Where would you go? What would happen? He asked me all sorts of things. And I got excited and excited. He got excited and excited. And I've never heard anybody talk about this. And I went, oh, okay. And then he said, you need to write a book. You need to write a book, and so in that book, you need to have credibility. You need to be able to speak to at least 100 leaders, because this is a leadership book, and they have to be from different sectors, different industries. And so I went. But then he said, you need to visit and spend time in 3 nomadic cultures in the world. And I went, oh, can I do that by Googling? Can I do that by going to the library? He said, no. You have to go and live with them. You have to go and spend time with them. You have to learn their stories. You need to eat with them. You need to follow them. You need to walk with them. You need to stand behind them. You need to find out exactly their stories so that it becomes a part of you. And this is something that really was very enlightening to me. So we went off on that journey. And I'm very excited about that nomad. First stop was in Mongolia. Frederick came with me. And we learned a lot about this. So we lived in these yurts and with the family, and we spent time with them and eating and asking questions. And I had a group. I had my guide, I had my photographer, my translator, I had all sorts of things along with us. And of course, I had Frederick, who was questions. Come on, ask questions. So it was really great. But then we went to. What happened is that we also spent time in Ulaanbaatar. I met a woman by the name of Background Bat, and I asked her, what is the meaning of nomad? And she said, it's not what you think it is. And so then I thought, well, what is it? And she said, it's the movement of the mind. The movement of the mind, the movement of the mind. Isn't that beautiful? And that's what it is. It's the freedom of the movement of the mind. And the mind is not just here, remember? The mind is in the heart. And it's in the gut. It is the freedom of flow through our whole body, this nomad moving like a river through you. That's the nomad. And that's a nomadic mindset, is about allowing yourself that freedom. But this all I came to, but from there, I also I had an interview with a young university student, Bindaria, and she said, nomads think vastly, act narrowly. And in this think vastly, act narrowly, she said, this is how they go out into the steppes. They think wide, all the possibilities, the potentials, the threats, the risks. they look at all this and they make a decision and they go act narrowly, they focus in. And this is what we do with the 5 E's, and this is what we do with courage, curiosity, and choices. It's about this expansion. And that's where we learn. And then when I was in Kenya with the Maasai, I don't know if anybody knows here what a Maasai warrior might be. Maasai warriors, they wear like a shuka. It's a red dress, like a tartan. And they usually have the walking stick. And so I was with this fellow, and he was sitting very tall, and he said to me, "We as a culture, we are migrating. Where we were is not where we are evolving." And that's another question for yourself. This is about connecting the dots as well. This is also about all of what I'm saying is finding the answer to this question. So this question, what is life asking from you? What is life asking from you? This is a very important question for the currency of your life. And I've given you some possibilities of known 3 nomadic ways, which are courage,
Curiosity.
choices. And then we have the 5 E's. It's a process. And what does it start with the first E? Explore, expand, emerge, experience, and evolve. Right. You're all wonderful. You're listening. This is great. And from there, what is his answer to this, perhaps? I don't know for sure, but I would say that it's his service, an incredible service to his audiences, his people, his families, and with everyone. He is just like this. He just cuddles up to, even at this age, and he's just dear, dear friend. And humility is very important to him, and also to explore the unknown. And for myself, while sitting in the yurt, and people used to say to me, "You are running away. Why don't you stay here? You're successful. Just continue to do the same thing. Do it over and over and over." People said to me, he won the 2nd World Championships. "Aren't you excited?" And I went, "Yeah." But I was not excited because he'd already done it. It was just another one. For me, in my mind, was, what's next? Right? And that was important for me to realize that I was actually not running away. I was running towards. I was running towards this. Be true to my soul, to serve as I serve my clients now, and also to allow my light to ignite and inspire the light in others. And that is my quest in life. That is the answer that I have for myself to this question, what is life asking for me? So I want to thank you all very much. I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, everybody. If you're interested, this is my book. And if you're interested to connect with me, here you can take the QR. Lovely. But thank you very much.
Hang on. Yes.
And just remember, what is the question to answer? What is life asking from you? Thank you. Thank you.